I think it's important to identify the problem, but not spend a whole lot of time talking about the problem. You spend a little bit of time identifying it, and then you spend the rest of your time focusing on a solution. I've been in so many environments where people want to talk about the problem. They want to talk about what's wrong with the world and what needs to be fixed and this and that and the other, but nobody has any real viable, actionable solutions about it. So I don't want to just talk about it, I want to be about it. And here's what I can relate to, and maybe you can too. For so much of my life was up here and my money was down here. And I spent most of my time trying to catch my money up to life. But there's this X factor. It's called Murphy. And maybe you know who Murphy is, maybe you don't, but let me tell you about Murphy. Murphy comes along and that's when you get downsized from your job. That's when they have a pay freeze. That's when you get 1-2% raise and can't even keep up with inflation. That's when the roof starts leaking, someone gets unexpectedly ill, someone dies unexpectedly. You have these things that come along, the car breaks down, and now all of a sudden, the money that you were calculating to live off of is compromised because of emergency situations. And it always happens at the most inconvenient time. That's called Murphy. So what can we do to properly set ourselves up so we can be protected in the best way possible for the inevitable challenges and ups and downs of this thing called life? Well, number one, you have to look at the power of one. So for me, when I was a teacher, I worked really hard and I went in early, stayed late, and guess what? Wasn't enough money. So I got a second job. Well, the second job, I made less money because the second job normally pays less than the first job. And the gas that I spent driving from my first job to the second job, well, that's what I made on the second job. So the treadmill was just like this. It was like going and going and going. I had to figure out a better way. And that's by going beyond the power of one. You can do one of two things in this life. You can be leveraged or you can create it. If you're being leveraged, someone's going to tell you when to punch in, when to punch out, how much time you have, what you don't have, vacation time, lunch time, and your income will most likely be capped. And it might increase a little bit over time, but it's not going to increase dramatically for most people. But when you create leverage, you take the cap off of your income. And when you take the cap off of your income, you now have a little more wiggle room to handle those situations that are going to be coming across your plate. So if something happens and you need something, you're prepared. See, I believe it's better for you to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. And the solution is going to be coming up. So pay very close attention. I know you're on this website, you're watching this video. Whoever got you on the video, they're going to show you something. I will show you a way that makes sense so you can properly prepare yourself financially for the years to come.